What's up, everybody? It's your girl Q1, and I am back once again with season 2, episode 23 of Moesha Cold Busted. If y'all watch this season, y'all already know what this is about to be about. Before I start, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Y'all click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video that I drop. Y'all make sure we are liking the videos so I can stay in the algorithm of things, okay? Thank you. Anyway, so apparently Moesha's going to have the house to herself. Miles going to be at a sleepover. Dee and Frank are headed to a banquet a couple hours away. So we meet in the next scene. Well, the episode actually started where Moesha, Kim, and Niecy are at Q's dad's barbershop. His dad, Rashawn's barbershop. He's a barber, but he also does women's hair as well. Moesha tells Q that she's gonna be home for the next 6 to 7 hours, and I was like, no ma'am, Pam. So y'all know Q already down with it, okay? So back at Moesha house, she's sitting on the sofa, Q laying across her lap like everything all good in the hood, and it's absolutely not. And so she tells Q, we need some music, set the tone. I'm going to go upstairs. And, she went upstairs to get her CD. So he's sitting there looking real crazy, like, I got something on my brain and I want to do something stupid. And he does something absolutely stupid and goes upstairs to Moesha's room. So he finally sees Moesha's room. He was like, oh, so this your room. And he was looking at her albums. They both sitting on the bed looking at the album. Then they start to kiss. Then they lay down on the bed. And Dee walk in. And then Flat Top walk in and see them two busted. Child. I say no ma'am, Pam. They would have been pulling my size 7.5 out of Q and Moesha's ass. Okay? Whatever. So, in the next scene, Hakeem is putting sauce on what happened between Q and Moesha. Of course, because it sounds like he got this from Miles. Okay? So, he telling Kim and Niecy, did I say Moesha? I meant to say Kim and Niecy, the story. All wrong. All wrong. So, then we see Miles, because y'all know Moesha punished. Okay? So Miles headed to the den to give Q a message, and she coded the message where they know what it meant, where he the only one know what it meant. So basically, the message says she will sneak out and meet him she's gonna leave and meet him at the shop, basically. So Moesha comes downstairs and says she have a couple of loose braids. And she wanted to go get it rebraided. And they looking at her like, oh, I hope you ain't think I ain't boo-boo the fool. Okay, you act like I got a loose brain. Okay, wait, we just gonna let you go. We know what you finna do. We did the same thing. Like, Moesha, please. You already in trouble, ma'am. So anyway, Flat Top tells Dee that, I'm sorry. Flat Top and Dee tells Moesha, you're going to a private school. Now, I feel like that was a bit much. Like, you cannot pull this girl away from this man, away from this boy. They're going to find a way. Like, I just feel like the more you kept trying, the more they kept trying to get together. Frank just pissed me off because he didn't have no valid reason. Yeah, Q is rough. But Frank really didn't have a valid reason. He looked at Q the first time he saw him. It didn't matter what Q was going to say or do. He was shutting Q down at every turn. So you didn't give this girl an option. You didn't even trust her enough. You would let her go out with any other person but him because you have a personal vendetta against a kid. You feel like he going to get your daughter pregnant, but you couldn't believe in how you actually parent her and know she was going to make smart decisions. Like, yeah, that was stupid what she did, and she did some dumb stuff. But I'm pretty sure Moesha don't want to be nobody's mom. She want to go to college. Like, we know how people like Moesha operate. Anyway, they tell her that They sending her to Bridgewood Academy, and she said she wasn't going. Girl, I would, Moesha, at this point, you'll be picking up your mother teeth. Okay? Talking about where you not going. That's where you're going. Okay? So, baby, I tell y'all, Moesha, them braids in that teeth, her teeth would have been so far up them stairs. Baby, I would have backed the hell out of her. Okay? So, she leaves, goes to her room. Dee tells Flat Top if she feel like she done the right thing, because Dee knows a lady at Bridgewood. That's how she got Moesha in. So Moesha left, and she wrote them a note. So at this point, they get a note from Moesha, and said that she's moving out. She ran away or whatever. Flat Top claimed he ain't worried. Dee is worried, and she's gonna go look for Moesha. And he was acting all tough and hard, talk about you can be worried, but I'm not. I'm like, you're a dumb. Like, Frank was a dumbass daddy. Okay, I get what he was trying to do, but at the end of the day, you never wanted to give Q a chance. No matter how many times Q tried to come to him, nice, polished as Q knew he would. You still didn't come to him. You never gave him an opportunity. You never gave him a chance. You felt like Q was never good enough for Moesha. Anyway, so Dee asked Andell if she seen Moesha, and Flat Top comes in there. She was like, well, what are you doing here? He was like, I just come here for the smoothies. You a bald-headed lie. Like, when I tell y'all, Frank pisses me off. Frank and that Flat Top pisses me off, especially when Q came. And now y'all know, if y'all watched the rest of this season too, y'all know I had to give Q some too. Anyway, so Dee asked Kim and Niecy if they seen Moesha because she ran away. And Kim was like, all right, does she have her own apartment? I was like, Kim is ignorant. So Hakeem tried to sneak off. They called Hakeem back. Flat Top and Dee, they find out where Kim is. They find out what Moesha is by way of Hakeem. So they head over to Roshan's barbershop. And so they go there, and they introduce themselves, and he found out that Moesha ran away. He didn't know that. So Q was like, well, I explain it to you later. And so Flat Top tell him Q has seen Moesha after I told him not to. Roshan asked Frank, are you having an issue with my son seeing your daughter? And he said, no, I have an issue. First of all, he lied. So then he said, no, I have an issue with your son being in my daughter's room. So Moesha and Q said nothing happened. Dee said something could have happened. She said, I almost could have been a grandmother before I'm a mother. And I'm just like, okay, y'all just really, like, I guess. So Dee said Q wasn't supposed to be in the house. And I agree. If Q had not been in the house, none of this would have never happened. So Roshan talks to Flat Top just man to man. So he tells Flat Top, hey, I know Q is a little bit rough around the edges, but my son is a good kid. And Roshan tells Flat Top, Q feel like you have it in for him. Flat Top said he does not. That is a lie. Put that on your Flat Top, because that's a lie. You had it in for Q the moment you met him. The moment you met him, and you knew your daughter liked him. And instead of just trying and giving it a chance and letting the chips fall where they be, you kept stepping in. And thus and such, that's what made your daughter sneak around, because she wanted to be with him more. And she said it. I like him because my daddy don't like him. She do not like anybody Flat Top tried to set her up with. Anyway, Roshan then tells Flat Top, listen, instead of trying to drive these two people apart, maybe we should show them some trust. Then they wouldn't have to sneak around. I agree. Flat Top his dumb ass gonna say he don't need nobody to tell him how to raise his daughter. Oh, okay. Okay, Frank. This the same man that hid his own son for all of these years. But okay, Frank. All right. You ain't even tell him. You had the little boy stand with you. You ain't even tell him. You ain't tell your wife, nobody. Anyway, so we get back to the house and everybody's sitting at the dinner table. It's awkward. Everybody's quiet. And Moesha, of course, is still punished. He gives her a note from Bridgewood, and it is for her to fill out her schedule for her classes for next year. He tells her, you better fill it out before you're gonna have you better fill it out before I do. And she slammed the paper down. She gets up. He tells her, you better sit your $5 ass down before I make change. You understand? Sit your $5 ass down. He didn't say that, but he said sit down, and she had to sit down. This was awkward because it went off awkward, and this is where the episode ended. I was like, my God, Frank was a bitch. Okay, when it came to Q had his faults. Moesha did something wrong, but Frank was in the center of the BS, and instead of just trying to make it right, he made it worse. I'm sorry. Like, I know what Moesha did was wrong, y'all, but Flat Top was on one. He was on one. The moment he saw Q, he was on one. Anyway, I ain't even gonna say that. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel on y'all way out, y'all, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.